The tank class in Paladins stands on strange grounds with me. I don't really know if I like it or not. I truly don't. In other games like Overwatch, you have tanks like Reinhardt, who can get gold damage pretty easily. Then you have Paladins. I mostly don't like the tanks in Paladins because they're not as interesting, and some of them just can't get as good stats as some of the other classes can. A tank can never get gold damage, a tank can never get good heals, a tank can only shield, and that's pretty much it. In Overwatch, you actually have a pretty good chance at getting the stats you want. Now, I'm not saying that Paladins tanks are bad because they can't heal the whole team, but what I am saying is that most of the tanks in Paladins just aren't the best. They don't do that much damage, shields are not the best, and they just aren't interesting. I don't play many tanks other than Barik, Yagorath, and I'm thinking about taking Azaan to a higher level, but man, they make the game fun. So, in general, it's not my most played class, but I do love a couple of them. So, as I said in my healer tier list, I pretty much only play overpowered characters. It's a thing that just happens in my brain without me even thinking about it. So, if you want to know the most overpowered tanks in Paladins, you've come to the right place. Now, really quickly before the video starts, just remember that these are my opinions. If you think that Torvald is the most overpowered character and deserves God tier or something like that, we completely disagree. In fact, I mean, like, let's just get rid of this guy right now. Yeah, just starting the list off right now with Torvald. Torvald is D tier. Torvald sucks, and there are a couple reasons for it. When I first played him, I thought, as I've mentioned before, that he would be something like Zarya from Overwatch, where you have different abilities that give shields to either yourself or a couple of different allies. I thought it would be fun because I really enjoyed Zarya from Overwatch, and I enjoy that kind of playstyle, just helping your team out and getting extra damage from it. But it is not at all what I was expecting. This guy sucks. He has some potential. He can get some damage, he has decent shields, but he's just worthless compared to pretty much everybody else. So, he's the first D tier we've got so far in these videos. Next in the list is Terminus. Terminus is interesting. I personally do not like him. I just don't like his range. I don't like how limited his damage is. Like, you're just not really gonna go through the roof with damage. Oh, I popped off this match. I don't like his abilities. I just don't like his character in general. But his shield is overpowered. I'm gonna put him in the B tier. Personally, I think he deserves C tier, but he can secure a win pretty easily just with his shield alone, as it blocks pretty much everything in the game, and there's very little you can do about it. So I think B tier's a fair thing between what he really is and what I think. Next is Ruckus, and I 100% believe that Ruckus is one of the most underrated characters in the game. I really believe that. He can get a lot of damage off, he can get a lot of shields off, he has really good movement, he has a pretty decent ultimate, and he's fun, he's interesting, I don't know, there's so many different playstyles you can take this character on, it's crazy. So, I'm gonna put him in A tier. If there's an A+, I would put him in A+. He's one of the few tanks that have been out since, around launch that I actually enjoy playing as. Next is Raum. When I first got this guy, I loaded up on watching different videos on him, watching different tips and tricks, and watching all kinds of stuff, because on paper, this guy's like a massive health, pretty decent damage beast who can go out and keep himself alive. This is not what I got when I was playing with him. I got a lot of just, you're a big hit target, you're gonna be right there in the middle just getting killed by literally everybody. It's probably because I didn't play him right, but for the most part, I really don't like him. I've seen some videos from when he first came out, and his primary fires changed a lot. It used to be, really good on the accuracy. His weapon had really good accuracy, but now it's just bad. I understand that it kind of fits and it's better this way because, he can heal himself for large amounts of health. He can have just a base total of a large amount of health, and then he can basically add on a whole other health bar with his abilities, but having nerfed his primary fire so down to bad accuracy, I just really don't enjoy playing as him as much. So I'm gonna put him in the B tier. Next is Makoa. Now, I do not like Makoa. I see a lot of high-level Makoas out there, and if you're one of those people, I'm sorry, but actually, tell me why you keep playing him. I'm honestly asking, why would you play him? Because I want to play him. I just don't really play him because I've got other more interesting tanks that'll be in the S tier that's coming up soon, so keep watching. Now, I don't like Makoa. There's only one ability that kind of saves him as being a character I would even, like, attempt to play as, and that's his hook, because that stuff is fun. That crap is so fun. Stinking hooking someone from across the map, like, it's just so fun. For some stupid reason, it's so fun hooking someone. So, I like him, but that doesn't mean I'm good at him, or that doesn't mean I'm going to put him anywhere good. So he's going in the C tier. I'm sorry. I feel like his damage is very limited. His rate of fire is very slow. So I just don't really like him. Next is Khan, the first character I ever played as in Paladins, simply because someone else took Victor. But that does not mean he's going to get a leg up in this competition. C tier. I'm thinking C or B. I've got some reasons. He has a shield that can be deceiving. You would think that this guy could get some good shields off, but he really can't. It's so limited. The shield is only the size of him, so he only shields himself. The shield only has so much health. You're so slow when you're walking around with it, and it's just so limited. You can't look up or down. You're just stuck kind of right there. I really don't like his shield. His fire, like primary fire, I actually kind of like that. His movement ability, I love. And his ultimate, I love again. I love, like, if you get a good map like Marauder's Port, or maybe even like Marketplace, I think is the name of the map. Some stuff like that where you've got a lot of like cliffs and like places where you can die from like falling or something like that. I love to play as this guy. I love standing next to an edge with my back turned to the edge and like using my movement ability, like grabbing onto someone and throwing them behind me. I just really like that. If it weren't for his ultimate and this, I would put him in like the C tier maybe, but I'm gonna put him in the B tier. His ultimate is really hard to hit though. I don't know if that's just me, I don't think so, but for some reason it's just so hard to hit. I'll line up everything, it'll all be perfect, I just can't ever get it. Inara. When I first played her, I bought her for like one of the quests for the battle pass. It was a long time ago, but I didn't like her. I didn't really like her. But now I actually love her. I'm going to put her in the A tier. I love her damage. She can get a lot off. I love her abilities. They can keep her alive. And she's interesting, right? You shoot the rocks. She's an interesting character. Not only that, but there are loads of different playstyles that you can have. You can have the generic, like on-point tank, stuff like that. You've got all the shields that you can use, all these walls that you can put up. So it's pretty easy to use that ability, use that playstyle. You've got crazy cards in your deck that, like, boost, like if someone's standing right where you're gonna put a wall and you put the wall under them, they like fly way up in the sky. That's like so interesting to me that you have all these different things. So I'm gonna put her in the A tier. I'm almost tempted to put her in the S tier. I really am. If there's an A plus, as I said before, I'd put her there. But I actually really like this character. Next is Fernando. I love Fernando. For some reason, I just got so many challenges in a row. It was like Trials of the Realm, Fernando, use this ability for 13 times, something like that. I just got so many of those in a row that I kept playing him, and I actually really enjoy him. He, similar to some other tanks I'll get to soon, have a lot of CC. This guy has a lot of potential to be one of those people that, like, you're like, oh god, not him on the enemy team. One of those. I actually really like him. He can get some decent damage off. He has, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best shields in the game. It's pretty big. You can move it around. You have third person, similar to Reinhardt, so you can kind of peek around corners. You can see what's going on. You can actually see where your team is kind of behind you, so you can move around to adjust to that as well. I actually really like him. Not only is he good for like helping and carrying a team to victory, but he's fun. You can get some decent damage off with him. Recently, like a couple patches ago, he was buffed to the point where like you can really get some damage off. You can really get some shields off. I actually really enjoy this character. And next is Barik. I love Barik. I really do. I really enjoy this character. This has, for the longest time, been one of my most played characters. I think he's third most played character, like highest level. He's really not the best. I really like him, but if you were to look at him on paper, you would say, oh yes, this guy is prime for getting like good damage, stuff like that. But I really don't like how limited he is to that as well. I was tempted to put him in the S tier because I simply love him. I played as him a lot. I know him well. He's recently buffed, but I'm going to put him in the A tier actually. I'm going to put him in the A tier. He's got a pretty decent shield. It does take a while to load, but he's got a pretty decent shield. He has some decent damage. He's got some new talents that like you're able to use your ultimate like several times within 100%, so that's crazy. So he's interesting. I actually really enjoy him still. Azaan. Oh my gosh. I have talked a lot about this guy on my channel. How he's crazily overpowered, stuff like that, all kinds of stuff. And, hi Rez, if you're watching this, I see what you did to his movement ability. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I actually really like this character. I've seen a lot of videos and a lot of other people talking about, like, finally a character, or finally a tank that I can play and enjoy. I actually really agree with this, and I actually like it, but I actually find that there are a lot of other tanks in the game that I can play as and enjoy. I actually really like Azaan. I really do. This character's fun, he's got some good mobility.
Before we move on, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe. We're almost at 400, and I know you would love to be the one to change that triple digit, so thank you.
Again, I've talked a lot about this on several other videos, so I'm going to try to make this one quick. I like this character a lot. He's got a lot of very interesting abilities. He brings something new to the game. He's got a lot of different play styles, and he's a very interesting character. So this guy perfectly fits the S tier, and that's right where he is going. Atlas, oh Atlas. He's got potential. His primary fire is one of the most unique things in the game. Across many other games, I haven't even seen anything like this. It's crazy. I actually really like this guy's primary fire, but I really don't like this character. I really don't. Let's take someone like Azaan. He is interesting, and he has a lot of different play styles. You can go damage, off tank, shield tank. You can get some good shields off, all kinds of stuff. You can even go a flank with him, which is something I've tried, and I would recommend trying it out because it's very interesting. But then you look at someone like Atlas, and it's just tank. Like, his whole lore and all that stuff, I really like that. The man out of time, and how he's come back from the future, and he's seen something, he's trying to save this realm, but he's just tank. He's got shield, he's got a good movement ability, and you can actually restore all your health in like 1 second. That's pretty good, but he's just tank. Man, you look at some of the other guys like Yagorath. Like, what the freak is Yagorath? Like, what even is that? Like, what the heck? But then you've just got tank. So, I'm going to put him in the C tier. He can get some good damage off, but man, I really just don't enjoy playing as him as much as I've enjoyed other characters. They're more interesting, and this guy is just a tank, really. Wait. Hold on, I gotta take this. Hello? What? You're telling me that only 1.6% of the people watching this are subscribed? You gotta be kidding. Who else are you subscribed to that's better than me, dude? I'm pumping out quality content twice every week, kind of. Consider it, that's all I'm saying. Ash is a very interesting character. I've talked before on how Azaan can keep himself alive when he's way out there by different cards, different abilities, just the way he works in general. Ash is the same way. And I've also talked before about how, like, Fernando has a chance to get some good, like, CC, like, crazy stuns and knockback and all that stuff. Ash is, I thoroughly believe, the queen of knockback, the queen of CC, all that crap. She's crazy. She really is. She's got cards where, on a base, like, no items or anything like that, a simple deck of cards can give her 50% lifesteal. 50% of the damage she deals, she'll get healed for. That's crazy. I'm going to put her in the S tier. Not only is she fun, she's interesting. Just a bit. She's not as interesting as Azaan, to say, or maybe even Yagorath, but she's pretty good. She's overpowered, she can get heals, she can take care of her stuff. I actually really enjoy playing as her. I like her. And finally, Yagorath. I love Yagorath. I have recently been playing a lot of her, and I really just love her. I will play and love a character who is both interesting and is not limited to one play style, who is not limited to tank, just being guy with shield, or girl with gun, shield, something like that. I really like that, and this character fits exactly like that. You can play point tank, but she's better off playing off tank. You can play a flank, you can play with the team, you can do so much. You can play shields, you can play to get more damage. She's crazy. I thoroughly love this character, and this is probably my favorite tank in the game. I love Yagorath. I really freaking do. Oh, wow, would you look at that? I've made a staircase. That's very interesting. And now, you have been very patient, and I will reward you. The God tier. In 3, 2, 1. Vaatu. Vaatu is the God tier tank, because, guess what? Who needs to be on the point when everybody's dead. So, Vatu is the god tier tank. I know you guys 100% agree. What are your thoughts on my tier list? It's very interesting. It's new and kind of different. I know I'm a very kind of crazy guy, but what are your thoughts? I'd like to hear them down below. I hope you have a great day, and remember, life is short. Play great games. Once at a single target. Use your walls around that single target to make sure they don't get away. Primary fire again, then use your movement ability, then shoot one more time. After this, you will have dealt 2,160 damage in about 4.5 seconds, and use 2 abilities not including his primary fire. That's pretty good, and if you remember, his movement ability charges in about 6 seconds, so it's a reliable source of movement.